Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for joining me on another listen while you work video. So grab a cup of coffee and take a break or get some work to do. Today I'm going to be talking about how I juggle home life with my online business. So let's launch this reseller rowboat. Hey everyone, glad you're here. I'm recording this on Friday, August 5th. I've been to the office already today and I'm home, and I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about juggling my life with my online business. So I'm have to stop every once in a while and check my emails to make sure that nothing urgent has come in. I usually get interrupted 2 or 3 times while I'm taking photos. Today I'm taking photos of 30 flat lays, and I had some things I wanted to say. I took some notes, and I know some of you have a full-time job like I do. Some of you have caregiving responsibilities. Some of you have younger children at home. So how do you do it? Well, I'm going to tell you how I do it. Some of it I do very well, and some of it I don't do very well. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to give you some suggestions, and in the comments, you can give me some suggestions because I'm all for that. I learn just as much from you guys as you learn from me. So looking at my notes, let me see what I want to say. I hope that today finds you happy, healthy, and getting lots of sales, and you're going to have a wonderful weekend. All right. I am actually sitting you on top of a crate that my photographed inventory usually goes on. And you're also sitting on top of a box of inventory that I just got in. I'm going to have to get something else to put these things in. All right. Right in there for now. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is if your eBay business is struggling, because I've been hearing this a lot from people, and if it's not what you would call summer slowdown, and I hope this glare is just me. Hope you can see me okay. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to play this back to make sure. Okay, I'm back. It's just my glare on my monitor. Okay, so like I was saying, if your eBay business is struggling, but you don't think it's summer slowdown, like it's just been struggling for a long, long time, like mine was last year in 2021, I invite you to go back and watch previous videos on mine. They would be on the playlist called How-To Videos to show you how I upped my game and started making more money, more sales, things like that. And I also invite you to sit down with a pencil and paper and make a plan and think about how do you want to run your business. Make everything super consistent. Sometimes it just takes completely taking everything off of your store and starting from scratch. And then just saying, this is how I'm going to do returns, this is how I'm going to do pricing, this is how I'm going to do titles, and just going one by one by one and starting to relist those items and be super consistent. If you do that, your store is going to grow. All right, but today, my topic is about how I juggle my home, my job, my eBay and Poshmark business, caregiving. I have grandchildren that I want to see. I have parents that I want to see. I want to relax once in a while, right? And I talked about this on one of my live streams one time. If you were to take how many hours there are in a week and you subtracted how long you sleep every night, your travel time to and from your job or taking the kids to school or whatever, the time it takes you to plan meals, clean up, normal hygiene, bathing, and all that. If you took all that away from the total number of hours in a week, you would be shocked how many hours you have left. It would probably be kind of frightening. I know it was to me. But you really have to do that. And then you have to look and see realistically how many hours do you really have to spend working on your business. And I'm very fortunate because I can work from home a lot. I kind of set it up that way. And so I have an assistant in the office part of the week, but I still have to be available on the computer if I'm needed. But she just kind of screens emails for me and phone calls. Um, you have to figure out how you're going to move all these hours around. You have to set a schedule, but you also have to be flexible and have, backup plan in case of emergency, like God forbid someone in your family would fall and break a hip and you needed to get to the ER. You have to have a backup. So we're going to talk about all that today, but first I wanted to start with the things that I'm not good at, and that's physical organization. Um, I wouldn't say I'm a hoarder. I wouldn't say our house is like super messy or anything. Um, it is kind of, to me, it's disorganized, but we have it set up to where if somebody called 10 minutes in advance, we can get it pretty much ready for anyone. So if you come by, call me 10 minutes ahead of time and I can go through the house and put things away and everything will pretty much be the way I feel comfortable for company, you know. Now, not if the Queen of England was coming or something, I might not be ready, but I know you guys would give me some slack, right? So that's just kind of how we have it set up. So we try to put everything in its place, but it doesn't always go there. Um, Yesterday, I thought we were going to have company coming over in like 30 minutes. And so I went through the house and I just, put everything where it needed to go and did a real quick dust over a couple of things that looked dusty. And then they ended up not coming over, which was sad, but I got my house straight back the way I felt like it should be. I hope I'm talking loud enough for you. You may have to turn me up because my wife is working right now and I don't want to interrupt her. Okay, so um, what we do in our house is we delegate pretty much chores. So one of us is in charge of the trash. One of us is in charge of most of the laundry, cooking meals. We know who's cooking which meal and who does the dishes. And so, but of course that can change if something happens, right? Also about, I guess it was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, um, I wanted to hire an assistant for my business, but instead we decided to hire a housekeeper, because that frees up my time more. And she comes twice a month and does all the deep cleaning. And then all I have to worry about in the weeks in between is the bathrooms, the kitchen, you know, sweeping. Every once in a while there'll be a spill, have to mop or something like that. But that was a real stress reliever on my part because that was probably, what, 4 hours a week at least, because it's a pretty big house, to do all that cleaning. And I'll have to do that every week. So consider hiring out for babysitting or something that they can do in your personal life, not your eBay life. So you'll have more room time to do eBay or whatever platform you're selling on. I say eBay because that's my main platform. Okay. Oops. Now on the eBay side or the online reselling side, physical organization is a challenge. Like I said, physical, I'm not good at it. Care about it. But it makes my life easier when I do it right. So my number one thing that I'm horrible at is putting my inventory away after it's listed. So Sally, the upside down picker, gave me an idea. I have a shopping cart, and when that shopping cart gets full of listed inventory, it's time for me to, it says, Beth, you got to go put the stuff away. I mean, had probably 60 to 70 pieces of clothing to put away one time, and it's hot out there in that garage. you know? Now I only have about 30 to put away. About 30 pieces fit in that shopping cart. To be honest with you, sometimes I try to squeeze more than 30 in there. But yeah, so putting the inventory away is an issue for me. But it's better if I do it because I'm not looking for it. Sometimes it sells before I put it away, and then I have to hunt for it. And or I step on it, or it gets put in a different bin in the part of the room and I forget about it and I can't find it and then I get frustrated and I waste time. So, okay, take this. Oh, for those of you who are watching, I just want to announce that Michelle Reseller Project is back on her channel. Be sure you go to her channel. I'll try to remember to link it up in the right-hand corner. Go check her out. She's awesome. So glad you're back, Michelle. She's fun. She's full of she's a wealth of knowledge, and I enjoy her so much. I've missed you, Michelle. All right. Okay. The other thing I need to do more is I try to have my supplies ready for eBay. So like I have all my, if I am getting low on poly mailers in my drawer, I run out and I get another pack. And when I get to that last pack, I reorder. If I get to the last row of stickers, thank you labels, I reorder. When I open the last box of business cards, I reorder. Always try to stay one order ahead. And you're probably like, but Beth, you don't really need them for another month or so. It doesn't matter. I pay for them. I get them there. They're outside of my garage. They're ready to go. So having my supplies ready. When my tape gun starts getting low, I go outside and I get my tape and it's there. And yeah, having my supplies ready. Order, yeah, I already said that. Order when you start a new package of poly mailers, tape, labels, whatever. Let me turn the page here. Okay, the other thing I do that helps me a lot is everything I get in, any inventory that I buy, I separate it into stacks. So I have a stack that needs to be detagged. Once those are detagged, then I fill up my clothing inventory sheets, and that includes my measurements. So then that goes in a certain place. These are ready to photo. Then when they're ready to photo, they go up here. And then once they're photoed, they go into somewhere else and it says ready to list. And I always have something in each one of those sections. It's very, very organized. That's probably the only physical organization that I can say I actually succeed in. So I can go to any stack and I can tell where it's supposed to be. It needs to be photographed, listed, put away, with the picture. Boy, these are small pants. I'm going to show you another pair of pants in a few minutes. So I'm going to need your guys' help on it because I can't figure out what they are. I mean, it says they're children's, but I can't imagine a child fitting in them. Okay, so now we're going to switch to the part that I'm good at, and that's the mental organization, the planning. And so, what I recommend you do is you get a calendar or some type of a planner. And if you're a guy and you're watching me, they got planners for guys. If not, somebody needs to start one. And let me get my planner. Hope you didn't see my butt. Okay, so I use a bullet journal, but you can use anything. If you are interested in bullet journaling, which is really a great way to stay organized, I have lots of bullet journal videos on my bullet journal playlist. All right, so in my planner for home, I have my trash days written out on Mondays. I do Zoom links. I create Zoom links for my boss for the following week. And I have my menu planned. So every Friday night, we plan our menu for the next week. And that's how we do our grocery list. And I'm not saying we don't stray from it, but the first thing I like to do in the mornings is look in my planner and see what's for dinner. Do I need to take something out of the freezer? Do I need to put something in the crock pot? Um, yeah, I love my planner. I used to do all kinds of monthly themes on my planners. Those were really fun, but they took up too much of my time, so I quit doing it. But this is one of those Ankh pieces, and I cannot stand the clear tags. They're so difficult to take photos of. All right. Also put all my doctor's appointments on there. I mean, just anything you can think of on the calendar, it goes. It goes on the monthly calendar and then it goes daily. All right. On the last of every month, the last day, I have a note on that day to back up my hard drive. Also, on the first of each month, I do my accounting for the month before. And let's just say the first of the month falls on a day when I can't do that. I just bump it to the next day. And that's what's so wonderful about bullet journaling. You can just bump it to the next day, but you don't forget to do it. So I have certain things I do at the beginning of the month and certain things I do at the end of the month for my store and for my life. And we've talked about a lot of those on my channel, so I don't have to, list them all for you. Okay. Also in my planner, I have like how I'm going to do my sales, how I'm going to do my promotions. I do a lot of experimenting with my store. So I will write down on this date, I started sending this kind of coupon out. Or on this date, I changed all my items that were $21.99 to $19.99 so that I have a starting point. So that when I'm ready to look at my experiment to see if I want to continue doing it, I have the date when I started. Um, I love doing experiments in my store. I love to hear about all the neat things you guys are doing. Okay. This is a really cool pair of pants. Okay. Also, I set aside a time every week to source. So I've been sourcing on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and there's no negotiation in that. Um, my assistant knows that on those days, I am not going to be available, except for real extreme emergencies at the office, that I'm going to be out and I can't talk. And my wife is so on board that we schedule doctor's appointments around my thrifting, and you know, this is how we do it. These are cool pair of pants. They're wide leg, crepe, super stretchy. Okay. The other thing I do is I make drafts ahead of time. Right now I have about 62 drafts, but most of them don't have, well, some of them have pictures, but these 30 don't have pictures. So what that means, I have 32 with pictures, right? I have enough for 2 days. So if I got called away on an emergency or something, I'd have at least 2 days of drafts right now in there that I could list tomorrow and Sunday, and I'd be okay. I could take the whole 2 days off if I wanted to, and I have been doing that, working 5 days and taking 2 days off. But because I was out of town last week, um, I'm behind in my drafts. So I've been trying to get like 100 at a time. But it seems like something always happens. So, but I do find that making the drafts ahead of time has really helped me. Okay, I'm going to stop the camera for just a minute and check my emails. I'll be right back. Okay, I checked my emails. I used to, I don't remember what I was talking about before I checked my emails, but I used to block my time. Um, like I would every, like, I had it written down that um, from this hour, like from 8 to 10, I did eBay. From 10 to 11, I did my boss's stuff. Then from 11 to noon, I ate. I used to have it like that. And that helped me a lot, but I don't do that anymore. I think I just got, after a while, I got really good at it and I didn't really need the time blocks anymore. But you might try doing that time blocking. And, put below in the comments, like, what's your situation? Are you working full time? Can you only work in the evenings? I prefer to work in the evenings, but my wife's not working then, so I really want to spend time with her. And that's the other thing. I don't know if I put it in there. Yeah, I did, but I'm going to go ahead and say it now. Well, it's on my mind. A lot of these clothing inventory sheets, the measuring, the taking off tags, I do that in the living room while we're out there watching TV. But you got to make sure that if you're doing things like that, that you are giving proper attention to the person that you're with. Like you can't just sit there and take off tags and not talk, right? You can't ignore somebody um, while you're doing it. You have to be present. So if your significant other demands your complete attention, then that's what you have to give them. Mine doesn't, for the most part. So um, I might like give her like 1 hour in the evenings of my complete attention, and that's it. Because she's doing other stuff too. So, whatever. I'm talking about, in the living room, like she might be paying bills, or whatever. So, okay. Um, okay, I need to go to the next page. Took a lot of notes. Um, Another thing I do is I take 30 minutes every morning when I first get up. So every single morning. And I drink my caffeine. While I'm sitting there, I do what's called my eBay maintenance routine. That takes about 10 minutes. And I have a video on it if you want to see what I do to feed my eBay store every morning. And where was I going with that? So this is really hard to do. I told Michelle it gets easier, but it's not getting easier today. Okay. I need my color wheel. I may have to pause this for a minute. Uh, all right. So I take 30 minutes and I do my email maintenance routine. Takes about 10 minutes. And then I just, I go and just do things to feed my store, make activity. Um, and so when it's a day like today where I had to be at the office at a certain time, I'm already in that habit of doing that every morning. Even on mornings when I'm here, I try to get up every morning around the same time so that, like on the days when I don't go into the office, I still get up as if I was going to the office. So, mainly, you gotta get a schedule and stick to it. And I know people don't like to hear that, but it's true. You have to have some type of a schedule. It can be flexible, but all right. So I'm going to be doing another tag talk with Maggie Doodle probably the week of Labor Day. So if you haven't seen our tag talk live streams, please go back. We have two of them. We talk about different clothing tags that we see, whether we should pick them up or not, how much we're we sold things for, stuff like that. It's had a really good following so far. So thank you, Maggie, for that. Um, Also coming up, I'm going to have a video on what sold while I was out of town. And then I'm still doing unboxing videos. I got some wholesale mall brand clothings from T Auctions for You. And so every week I'm like unboxing one of the boxes. There's 4 boxes total. So those are coming up. And then I don't know if I'm going to do this on a live stream or not, but I'm going to do a video on, I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you're running out of space for clothing inventory or maybe other inventory. I don't know what to sell. So, and how I got around that, how I made more space for clothing in my garage without adding more shelving. So I'm thinking about filming that this weekend. And I don't know whether to just show it on a live stream or upload it, but I thought that might be interesting for you guys to see. It's really easy to do. And gosh, I hope I haven't had something in my teeth the whole time. I'm sorry if I this is life, people. This is my life. It's juggling constantly. Sometimes I never know which end is up. Today is a lawn people come, pool guy comes. Lawn people haven't shown up yet. Pool guy hasn't shown up yet. Um, it's just not. It never ends. But anyway, so those are some of the things that I have planned in the future on my channel. And if anybody would like to come on as a guest, I used to do reseller spotlights on my show, but I quit doing it for a while because I was just swamped with work. But if anybody wants to promote their channel, um, you're welcome to come on as a guest and I'll interview you. Just let me know. And that still holds anybody wanting me to look at their eBay store and give them pointers. Now remember, I may not be doing it right. I'm just doing what's right for me. But I will always be glad to help anyone. Just remember, it's really hard when you have someone look at your store to take criticism. You know, I would give you constructive criticism, but let me tell you, when I had people look at my store, sometimes I felt really, really bad. And I wasn't prepared for the criticism, right? The critiquing. And I took some of the suggestions, but not all of them. And it took me a couple of years to actually go back and say, hey, you know, they were right. I was hard-headed. And my main thing right now that I look at is, am I making more money than I'm spending? If I'm making more money than I'm spending, if I can pay my bills at the end of the month and have some left over. Now, granted, last month they only had $69 left over to put in savings because it was a bad month. Doing better this month, though. Um, so I'm just looking at that. Am I making a profit? If I'm making a profit and I'm, you know, paying my bills and I got money left over and put in savings, then it doesn't matter whether I sell a pair of jeans for $20, $15, $12, or sometimes even $10 if I've had it for a while. So, but that's because of my cost of goods. But you know what I mean? Look at your bottom line. What would you really be able to accept and still make a $2 profit? A $3 profit? I know that doesn't sound like much, but it's a profit. And coming from someone who had a bookstore and I was only profiting about 50 cents or $1 on every book I sold, I had to sell thousands of books every week to even come out, you know, even. Uh, it's okay. Don't get attached to your items. All they are pieces of fabric. Yes, some of them may be cute fabric. Um, some of them you may never see again. Some of them may be very unique. But hey, what's wrong with being known as someone who gave someone a good deal? Like, what's wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I'm okay with this. Before I go, I wanted to show y'all this pair of jeans, her pants. I got these from T. I'm gonna go ahead and take a photo of them. First, I have to take a picture of my tag, because that's how I find my jeans. All right. I held them up the other day when I got them in my haul. These things are 11 inches wide, which means this waist is a 22 inseam. 22. Okay. So that's a child's, but look how long these are. I mean, I can't even imagine a child being this tall. Now, the tag is from France. It's Babyface. And when I have gone on eBay so far, I've done a little bit of research, not a lot. Or when I've gone on Google, it's a children's brand. Then it says T1 on the bottom on the tag. I don't know if you can see that. T1. That's the size. I don't know what a T1 is. I've done a little bit of research, but I don't want to do much more. Like, I just want to move on. So I'm not even sure I'm going to list them, but I'm going to go ahead and take some photos of them, and then make a decision, because I'm one that does not take a lot of time to research things. These could be worth $5. They could be worth 20. I have no idea. The ones that I've seen listed are not like these, but I haven't been able to find them. I don't know. Oh, I know one more thing I was going to talk about. Some of you have commented on my wholesale box that I had. I've done 2 of them now. Um, that some of the items that I received were not really what I usually sell, like, brands and sizes and stuff like that. And so they were asking me if I was happy with my box. And I am happy with the items, but you're right. Some of these brands are not what I sell. And so just this week total, I've sold like 10 Catherine's tops. Okay. And I need to find a way of replacing those Catherine's tops. And I don't have any so far in this wholesale box. So what I've decided to do is tomorrow on $1.75 day, I think it is, I'm going to run through that store and I'm going to try to find every Catherine's top I can find. Every Liz Claiborne, extra large and up. Every Lane Bryant, every Avenue, extra large and up, and bring them home. And then I'm going to weave those in to the wholesale box, because what's going to happen if I don't do that, well, this is just my prediction, is these repeat buyers who I keep getting, like yesterday I had a repeat buyer and she bought 7 items, like 2 of them were Catherine's. They come back to my store in 3 or 4 weeks and want more Catherine's or Lane Bryant or Liz Claiborne, and I don't have them. They're going to move on and they're not going to come back. So I can't afford that. So that's my plan. Let me know below if it's a good plan. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to finish taking photos of my flat lays. I burned my finger really bad. If someone could do a video on how to steam pants without getting burned, I burn myself every freaking time. I think I know the answer. I think the answer is to pull the pants out this way and steam instead of going down. But if anybody wants to do a video on that, I would greatly appreciate it. Again, don't forget to go to Michelle's channel, Reseller Project, and I will see you on my next video. Bye!